Okay, so here is the engine, and first things first, to simply sit it in the position that it's going to go. Now, one thing to be aware of is the gear mesh. The gear mesh is here. You need to make sure that the gear mesh is not too tight or too loose. Having a too tight or too loose gear mesh could result in stripping some of the gears on the car. Right, so once the engine is roughly in place, simply put in the screws. Just put them loosely in, do not screw them up tightly, just put them in enough so that they will hold in place. Put one in to start with, tighten it up, do not tighten it all the way, just once again do it fairly loosely because once again gear mesh may need to be adjusted once you've actually put the engine back in. Once engine is back in, you can then adjust the gear mesh. Just concentrate to start with on putting the screws back in and getting the engine held tight. Always tighten the screws diagonally. Okay, so now we have tightened the screws up diagonally. Now start to tighten them up the other way. Once again, do not over tighten or tighten them too much, as gear mesh may need to be adjusted at a later time. And then put the last screw in. Okay, so on the last screw now. Now tighten each screw little by little diagonally to get a nice tight and secure fixture. There is a lot of vibration when running the engine, so you don't want the screws to be coming loose when racing the cars. Having it too loose would mean that you'll be halfway through running the car and in fact it would go loose and the gear mesh would come too loose and you would have problems with that. Okay, once we have done that, check the gear mesh, check that it's not too tight and not too loose. See, I can see here that the gear mesh is okay. There is a small gap in between, so there won't be any friction. Also, I can see over here that the gear mesh is set correctly.